Yo, this video, I want to talk about Avengers Doomsday. It has been confirmed that it will be released March 1st, 2026. Oh, I said March. I'm sorry. May 1st. Anyway, so either it was earlier this week or it was last week. I can't remember. My brain is fried at the moment. Marvel did a live stream revealing not all, but some of the cast for the movie. So we got names that we would come to expect. Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr. has already been confirmed as Doctor Doom. Anthony Mackie coming back as Captain America. People we would expect to return. But I want to talk about people that I was not expecting at all. And that's some of the X-Men characters. Now, Patrick Stewart, seeing his name pop up, not gonna lie to you, didn't really surprise me. One, we've already had him come back in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness as a variant, right? And then we had Deadpool and Wolverine, which is also connected to the MCU. And, they have their Professor X on their Earth. Is he alive, though? Yeah, actually, Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't make any sense when you think about it. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that movie. We're talking about Doomsday. So they announced that a lot of the X-Men characters are coming back. Ian McKellen is coming back as Magneto. Who else? I'm sorry, give me a second. Alan Cumming is coming back as freaking Nightcrawler. I was unexpected. That one shocked me the most. Out of all the X-Men characters that we got in those X-Men films, I didn't think we would ever see Nightcrawler again. Bro showed up in X2 and we never saw him again. I did think he'd ever come back, but here we are. He's coming back. Can't wait to see him. James Marsden is returning as Cyclops, which is pretty cool. So I think it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Halle Berry said that she's not really coming back as Storm, which is disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. Cause why not? But so I have a theory that this might turn into a X-Men versus the Avengers type deal. I know that recently Kevin Feige confirmed that, it'd be the Wakandans, the X-Men, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four fighting Doctor Doom. But you need all of that to fight Doom? Maybe. But I feel like there's gonna be some type of conflict between the Avengers and the X-Men. Excuse me. Because I know I'm pretty sure the people at Marvel that they want to possibly do an X-Men versus the Avengers storyline. And honestly, I feel like this could be a way to execute that if done properly. Now, how are they going to do this? I don't really know. There's a possibility. I think there will be a little bit of conflict for sure. Just because it's a movie and, movies and TV shows or just stories in general thrive on conflict, some form of conflict. So I think there will be some conflict amongst the Avengers and the X-Men. Probably something that won't last too long throughout the movie, but you never know. I will say I am a little bit more excited than I was before. I'm one of those people that was really disappointed that we didn't get to finish the Kang storyline. Everything they set up, starting with Loki season 1, and then, or technically that was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I forgot which one of those came first, but they were setting the stage with Kang and all that and his variants and stuff with Loki and Ant-Man Quantumania. I really think that Jonathan Majors carried Ant-Man 3. I feel like that movie wasn't bad, but it just, the only good parts of the movie I can truly say was the character of Kang. Everything else was kind of bad, and I don't know. And then, you know, the whole situation with Jonathan Majors and stuff that happened in his real life, um, you know, it just threw everything off. And I kind of hate that because one, I think Jonathan Majors is a really good actor. And I think his version of Kang, each version of Kang so far, he played really, really well. So the fact that we won't get to see like that, you know, story finished is kind of a little disappointing, especially because they set it up so well in Loki. I'll say it like that. In Loki, they set it up really well. I believe that Kang should have beat Scott. I don't think Scott should have died in Quantumanium, but he definitely should have got stuck in the quantum realm again. And I know we kind of just did that with Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, and then he got out in Avengers Endgame, but like, who cares? You're setting up your villain, the villain for your next saga. Just let him beat the hero. It's fine. And it's Ant-Man of all people. Like, I'm sorry, bro, but Ant-Man not beating Kang in the comics, bro. At least not the Scott Lang version. Anyway, so now we got Doctor Doom, a character we have not been introduced to in the MCU. So I have a feeling the best way to approach this movie, even though with the huge cast they have, would to be pull an Avengers Infinity War. Because Avengers Infinity War was Thanos' movie. Thanos was the main character of that movie, you know. And of course we had like the build up of Thanos throughout the, you know, starting with I'm trying to think, when did he make his first appearance? It wasn't in Thor, was it? I believe it was at the end credit scene of the Avengers, right? And then we got little snippets of him. He showed up in Guardians 1. Showed up in the last post credit scene of Avengers: Age of Ultron. Like, and then like, but we didn't really get much about him or what his motives were or anything like that until Avengers Infinity War. And that's because that was his movie. He was the main character of that movie, right? And it worked. One, because we saw him and we knew he was a looming threat. And two, now we know why he's a looming threat and what his goals are, right? I feel like with Doctor Doom, it's not going to go over too well. I do believe that he will be set up in the Fantastic Four movie because it's freaking Doctor Doom. Like, he's a Fantastic Four villain first. So, I feel like that's where it's going to start. But I feel like it probably won't be, it's not going to be the main story. It definitely won't be the main story of the movie, right? So, I don't know. You know, it's difficult because, like, we're getting this new villain. We're getting his motivations, like his motives and who he is. All of this in one movie. And we don't truly know his motives unless you like, read like the articles and the statements that Marvel puts out, or you know, you get the leaks or whatever. You don't really know what the story is unless you or an idea of what the story of the movie can be unless you look this stuff up, right? Or if the studio who's making it puts that information out. So obviously Doctor Doom, you know, being, you know, the final villain of the multiverse saga, the ending of the multiverse saga, obviously his motives and his actions have something to do with the multiverse. Whatever that is, don't know. But we're gonna figure it out, obviously, in Doomsday. But like, we're getting all of this all in this one movie, and I can't even remember if he's confirmed for Secret Wars. I think he is, but and obviously Doomsday and Secret Wars is gonna be like Endgame and Infinity War again, right? So I don't know, like, it's weird because I'm excited, but I'm also kind of worried. I think Marvel's just struggling to deal with, like, trying to set up too much stuff and not having a clear direction. I truly think that Phase 4 is the worst phase of Marvel. Like, there was no payoff to anything. It felt just like it was like a weird epilogue, but also a continuation of like the Infinity Saga, right? And it's like, I don't know. I feel like with with Phase 4 should have been like should have been everything to truly wrap up any loose ends that were left undone, that weren't wrapped up in Endgame, right? And I think that maybe the last two movies of Phase 4 should have been like multiverse movies. I don't know. This isn't the type of video I was gonna make. I was really just gonna talk about Doomsday and the casting, but now I actually want to talk about like what they could have done better with setting up the multiverse saga, because the biggest thing about the hardest thing about a multiverse storyline is you have to make us care about something, right? Obviously, we care about the 616 timeline, or I'm sorry, universe of the MCU, right? But if you say like, okay, the Earth or this universe is one universe itself is in danger, then okay, like, yeah, we're gonna care because we know so many people in this universe, not just people on Earth, but people in space, like the Guardians and the Ravagers and stuff like that. Like, we have a connection to these characters that live in this universe. But if you say, hey, Kang is about to destroy what do they call it? Universe, I don't know, 717. Like, what does that mean to me? I don't really care. And one thing that I think Marvel has done too late is to make movies in the multiverse saga take place in other universes. For example, Deadpool and Wolverine, that takes place in Deadpool's universe, right? And then the Fantastic Four, that takes place in another universe. Boom. That right there, that's two universes that we already care about, right? And then now we know through Spider-Man No Way Home, Tobey Maguire's universe is connected to the MCU, and Andrew Garfield's universe is connected to the MCU. So what? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 universes outside of the main MCU universe that we care about, right? And that's fine, but I feel like they should have just given us a little bit more, because at the end of the day, I don't really feel like anything. I don't know, man. The multiverse thing is just, it's a difficult storyline to pull off, and it always usually gets kind of messy, kind of like time travel. So I don't know. I feel like if they had given us different movies in different universes, it would make us care more. And especially if it was different heroes too, because we have the Fantastic Four. Good. That's another new, fresh set of heroes that we, as readers or watchers, we know of, but we don't know how things are in their universe. So we watch their movie, we get a feel of it. Now we care about these characters. And same with Deadpool and Wolverine, right? So I feel like, I don't know, like, I know Marvel wanted to do like a Midnight Suns movie, right? But they were struggling to get the Blade movie off the ground. Well, stop hindering yourself trying to write a Blade movie that takes place in the main 616 universe, and just put Blade in another universe. You can just write whatever you want, and then boom, that's another universe right there. Not only that, but you can set up your Midnight Suns or whatever it is that you want to set up, right? So I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. That's just how I truly feel about it. Again, I'm excited for the movie. Like, I'm gonna go see it. Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Dr. Doom. I still don't 100% agree with that. Like, he's a great actor, and I get what they're trying to do with having Doom, like, use the fact that him and Tony Stark look alike to, I don't know, manipulate the Avengers or whatever to get whatever it is that he wants to accomplish his goals, right? And that's an interesting angle to take it. But man, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm like, some of those people was like, man, y'all really desperate, right? But I had heard rumors that, like, he had already been in talks to be Doom beforehand anyway, so I don't know. They released like a poster yesterday, or like a little teaser for the Fantastic Four movie. Really looking forward to that. I don't know. I think Marvel still got it. Marvel still got it. They just need to come up with the vision and stick to it. You know, I understand that the whole situation with Jonathan Majors and all of that got messy, and you know, I understand that. But in all honesty, like I think that it probably would have went better if they had just recast it. Because Doctor Doom just coming out of nowhere, it doesn't feel right to me. It's like how, like, when they announced like Doomsday and that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be Doctor Doom, it just felt so random, kind of. Like, and there was rumors before it was announced that it was possibly going to happen, that they were going to replace Kang with Doom, right? And, you know, those rumors became true, obviously, because here we are now. But I don't know. I feel like they need to wrap up the Kang storyline in a good way. If they don't, then it's really gonna look bad. But I don't know. I feel like Marvel's just trying to do the best they can to some extent. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely need to be some more creative differences made up there. Yeah. Daredevil. Even though this is not the Daredevil video. It's going crazy right now. It's going stupid. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really good. I will say this. Spoilers for Daredevil, Born Again. The Muse storyline, a little bit of a disappointment. Why did they end it like that? Yeah, I feel like the way the season was going, and it took them so long to get to the part where we finally see Muse and know who he is and get his understanding of his motives and stuff like that. Like, as long as it took to get there, I was like, all right, he's obviously not going to be that important to the story, or they were just going to stretch it out into season 2, because they're filming season 2 right now. So, but that doesn't seem the case with episode, 7, I believe. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll talk about this more in the Daredevil video. This is getting too long anyway, because it's just me ranting as usual. One of these days, I'm gonna get my act together, and I'm gonna be a professional YouTuber and put out a decent video instead of just rambling inside my car. This is the Huntress, by the way. Yeah, my car has a name. My last name is Hunter, so the car's name is the Huntress. People laugh when I tell them that. You can laugh. Go ahead. You're smiling right now. It's cool. Anyway, I'm out of here. Peace.